Okay, so I just want to make a little video about Uman Rosh Hashanah because it's that time of year again where it's getting closer to Rosh Hashanah, and any article or any video or any post or any WhatsApp and any Instagram and everything like that, anytime that somebody talks about Uman, against it, for it, whatever it is, there's many people who just completely just make up many lies um, about Uman and what happens there, and they tell people that I'm going there, or tens of thousands of other people that I know who go there, that we're just going there to do, that we're just going there to party and to do, and just to do really, really bad things. And it just that's just really not good. Um, and I just want to make a video just to go through some of the points that I see people say about Uman without ever having stepped foot into the Ukraine at all, let alone Uman. And all their information just comes from articles written by people who have a very biased opinion about what happens there. So I'm going to tell you what happens there, because I've been there for 13 years. Every single Rosh Hashanah since 2007, I've been going. Regarding this Rosh Hashanah, I have no idea if I'll be there. There's a lot of other things this Rosh Hashanah that people in Uman have never had to deal with before, like COVID. And officially, as of today, with less than a month to Rosh Hashanah, Ukraine has given permission to have the kibbutz, the gathering there, and with a lot of strict rules. And I hope that everybody will follow the rules. But there will definitely be less people there this year than other years. And again, like I just brought up that point that people will say things that when people see articles like that, oh, there's going to be less people there this year. So right away, like, they'll just comment like, oh yeah, the prostitution business in Ukraine is going to take a big hit. Like, like, what are you saying? Like, you're saying on a whole group of people, 35,000, 40,000 people, some from the U.S., most of them from Israel, are going just to do Averas. Like, what are you saying about Klal Yisrael when you say that? You're saying like the whole entire Brooklyn is going to do Averas. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying people in Lake, people here are going to do Averas. Like, where does that come from? And so I'll just tell you a few things that I think people miss out on the Uman Rosh Hashanah, without getting into why we go and what are the reasons why Rabbi Nachman said to come, and all these different things. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I think there's two main things that I think people are missing out about Uman Rosh Hashanah because they've never been there, so they don't understand what goes on. So number one is that Breslover, first of all, is a very spread out chassidus. I wouldn't use the word disorganized because it's getting more organized every year, but we do not have a rabbi who's alive. We have mashpiyim, and the main Rebbe and the only Rebbe is Rabbi Nachman, and he's buried in Uman. So while other Chassiduses have a Rebbe, like for example Satmar, right? So everybody goes to Satmar for Rosh Hashanah. They go to Williamsburg, they go to Monroe, whatever it is, or Bells. They all go to Bells for Rosh Hashanah. They go there, and they're with their Rebbe for Rosh Hashanah, right? So, but during the year also, since they have a Rebbe, there's also other times where they all gather together, and the Chassidus gathers together. Breslover is not like that. Breslover has kehilas that are spread out, of course, but as a whole, there's never really a time in the year where all the Breslover chassidim will be all together. And the only time of the year that happens is on Rosh Hashanah in Uman. So you'll have the kehila in Mea Sharm who look like Mea Sharm chassidim, and you'll have some hippies from Israel who are also Breslover, and then you'll have a few chaver from New York who look like regular New Yorkers, and you'll have a few tzvat chaver, and you'll have this chaver, and you have that, and everybody looks different because there's no official uniform in Breslover. You could have a beard, you could have payas, you could have a long coat, you could have a short coat, you could have bekisha, you could wear jeans. There's no official dress code. Rabbi Nachman never made a dress code, but you'll see everybody together, and they're going there, if they're connected to Rabbi Nachman, they're going there only specifically because Rabbi Nachman said to be by me on Rosh Hashanah. And it's the gathering of all the Breslover chassidim from all over the world. So that's one reason why I think that people don't understand what Uman is also about, is that it's the gathering of all the Breslover chassidim from all over the world together. And it's very chashuv to be part of that, because as a person who's Breslov, or as somebody who's connected to Rabbi Nachman, even if you don't call yourself Breslov saying, but you want to feel like you're part of something, so that's where everybody goes. So to try to take that away from somebody, first of all, is just wrong, because that's their chassidus. If you have a problem with that, then you should have a problem with every chassidic group getting together on Rosh Hashanah. That's number one. Number two is that today, I don't think, it might be controversial to say this, but I don't think that there is another gathering in the world that happens every year that is the highest spiritual experience that a person can have. Meaning that, yes, every 7 years there's there's the Siyam Shas, which is a huge, amazing, awesome thing. This past year's was very beautiful. And you have Lag BaOmer in Meron every year. But Uman is something completely different because Uman is besides for Breslovers going, it became a kind of like a spiritual adventure for a lot of people, Israelis, Americans, whatever, that they hear about this thing and they're going there. And they're not going there to party. Okay, they may not be connected to Yiddishkeit as much as you are, or as much as a lot of people in Uman are, but they are going there to find something, definitely. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's coming from India, or a guy who's off the derech who's coming, you know what I'm saying? Wherever he is, whatever he wants to do, that he's ready doing in his life, he can still do. He's not, by him coming to Uman, he's not coming there to try to find something that he's not able to get, a different taiva that he's not able to get wherever he is. You know what I'm saying? These people are going there to find something out about Judaism. And the connections that are built there are just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you have people who look like they just walked out of the, off a plane from India with dreadlocks and wearing all types of interesting clothing, and you'll see them walking down the street just talking to a random chassid from Mea Sharm. You know, I mean, you can't find that anywhere else in the world. And the only reason why they're talking is because of Rabbi Nachman. They're talking about Rabbi Nachman. They're talking about Hashem, because that guy came there to find something. And even a guy who first of all is from, and let's say lives in New York or something like that, and he's doing his service of Hashem, but he feel like he's missing out or something like that or whatever. He's going through something, and he feels like he doesn't have anybody to speak to, but then he'll come to Uman, and all the walls will just fall. You'll meet a guy on Pushkina. Pushkina is the main street there. You'll just be having like a little coffee after davening, before davening, whatever it is, and you'll just meet this guy, and you'll just start talking, and then all these walls will fall down, and you'll just be talking and talking and talking. And it's Sichas Chaverim, and Rabbi Nachman was very into the Sichas Chaverim part, where he wanted people to just connect and to talk, and the light and the energy bounces off each other and gives people chizik and everything like that. And I think people don't understand that there's no greater unity happening in Klal Yisrael. Unfortunately, I mean, we should be able to have this everywhere, but it's, in all honesty, there's no greater unity that happens in the world between Jews than I think that happens in Uman. You know what I mean? And it's just, you have to go there to experience it and to see exactly what I'm talking about. But I can tell you, just, I have no reason to lie right now. You just see all types of Jews connecting. First of all, also great, amazing unity between Sephardim and Ashkenazim people. There is still today in Eretz Yisrael, even in America, even anywhere, there is still, there is a small divide between Ashkenazim and the Sephardi world. There's a little joke in Uman, you'll say to somebody, do you know where the Ashkenazi minyan is? Because there's so many Sephardim there. And you have no other chassidus in the world, first of all, that attracts as many Sephardim as Rabbi Nachman, which is also a very interesting thing that people also try to, they can't really understand that. But I think the main point that I'm trying to get across over here is just that there's just this unity there, and there's just this connection between Jews there, that, yeah, say so you have to leave Eretz Yisrael, yeah, you have to leave home, but you can't get those things back where you are. You need to travel there, and you need to experience it. You need to be there, because when you're there, what's happening there is that you're in a very holy place. And we believe as Breslovers that Rabbi Nachman is making big tikkunim on our souls, and he's making big tikkunim on people's souls that come there, and all of a sudden you're feeling these things and you're experiencing these things and thoughts that you've never thought about before. You're really thinking about life. You're really thinking about Avodah Hashem. You're really thinking about other things that happen to you in life that you're trying to figure out, and you can't. And then you're there with other people, and you start talking, and people are going through the same thing, and you're just talking, and it's besides for davening and besides for learning, that's happening there all the time. Everybody there, everybody's avodah there is a very different thing. But I can tell you straight up that it's not a party, okay? According to the regular definition of what you think a party is, okay? First of all, 99%, let's say 99% of the people who are going there to fulfill what Rabbi Nachman said, to be by their Rebbe on Rosh Hashana. They're going there to serve Hashem. They're going there to learn. They're going there to daven for hours. The minyanim there are extremely long. You can find short minyanim. There's thousands of different places to pray there. But when you get there, you can see that there's people who are doing different things. Like again, there's people that are coming there that may not be as connected to Judaism or Yiddishkeit as you are. And maybe they feel like their avodah there is just to say a little tehillim and then go dance for a few hours to trance with some people, and then to daven on Rosh Hashana for a few hours, and then hang out and sit and talk with people. You know what I'm saying? But everybody there is going there to eventually experience something in Yiddishkeit that can't be experienced somewhere else, and they can't open up to other people back home, but they could open up to people in Uman that they may never see again, or they may see once a year, and that's their connection to them. A small conversation that happens on the street in Uman can carry you a whole entire year. And again, these are things that can only be experienced when you're there, and I'm just telling you what I've experienced there for 13 years. In 13 years, I have never seen what people say, that we're going there to sleep with prostitutes. I have never seen a prostitute in the city of Uman. I have heard stories on the news, but when I'm there, no. And I don't think that people also don't understand is that there's a border where the Jewish section starts for Rosh Hashana, and those borders are protected by police, and regular Ukrainians cannot come in. The only women that you see there are either working in the food tents, or live there, or they're news people. And okay, so then you're going to say, okay, so what about walking out into the city? Yes, I've walked out into the city. I've walked out very far into the city, actually, to do some shopping. With many other people, go out into the city, they go to the shuk, they buy pots and pans, they buy things for Roshana, whatever it is, or they go to the mall, they buy phones, they're cheaper there, they're doing different things, whatever it is. I've walked out there years ago, even last year probably walked out there also, far out. Nothing. People already staying far out, further out after these borders. They're buying apartments there. They're staying in Rosh Hashana. There's so many people there that everybody's staying even further out. And again, I've never seen any chas v'shalom women offering services or anything like that. The only time that a woman ever approached me and my friends in Uman was when we were in the Sophia Park. The Sophia Park is like a big park, like Central Park, but much more beautiful. It's a garden. It's a botanical garden. It's extremely amazing. Rabbi Nachman one time said that if you come to Uman, you should go to the park also. And we were actually in the park. People also say don't go to the park. There's women there. No women. One girl came over to us and asked us if we wanted to give her $5, and then we could take a picture with her and her little cute dog, because they'll do anything for money there. But after that, I've never seen anything what people are saying. Are there people who are flying to Ukraine and when they get off the plane in Kiev disappear? Probably. Maybe a few hundred people, but that's it. But out of 50,000 people who are coming, 49,500 people are coming there to be in Uman truthfully for Rosh Hashanah. Okay, so maybe there's a little drinking, a little smoking, okay, whatever. It happens everywhere in the world. If you know what I'm saying, if you know the stories, you know the stories. If you don't, if you want to bury your head in the sand, you can bury your head in the sand too. It happens everywhere, in every neighborhood, in every place. So there's much bigger things to worry about besides that. I'm saying if you're doing, certain things responsibly. But to have a little l'chaim on Rosh Hashanah, people smoke cigarettes, okay, a little weed, whatever. But I'm saying, to say that everybody's going there to party, I'm saying, first of all, if you think it's easy to be there, like people are saying, oh, they just leave their wives because they don't want to deal with their wives for Rosh Hashanah, so they just go to Uman, right? So if you think it's easy to be there, I'm saying it's not so easy to be there. I'm saying, first of all, unless you're a very high class individual who has a lot of money, you're not sleeping in the best, the best room. You're probably sleeping in a room with a minimum 6 to 8 people on a bunk bed. The bathrooms aren't that great. Baruch Hashem, the food is good, but still, it's cold, it's wet. There's a lot of people, non-stop noise, before Rosh Hashanah with music and all the announcements and everything like that. And on Rosh Hashanah, you're davening for hours. You're not sleeping. Also, people say it's a waste of time to go. Nobody davens and it's a party. Let me tell you something. First of all, just talking about the big minyanim in Uman. The Klois minyan is the Klois minyan. Fits 10,000 people in there. That's the main Breslover minyan where all the big Breslover kilos will daven. That minyan on Rosh Hashanah starts at 6:30 and ends around 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m. you go to eat, then you go do tashlich, and then you go do mincha, and then you're right back at shul again, and then you eat again, and you're going to sleep, and then you're waking up again, do 6:30 again the next day. Zechor b'slichos erev Rosh Hashanah, and the Kloy starts at 3:30 in the morning till 6, and then they do vesikin. Saying, where you think these guys are going to party? Okay, so there's other people who are not in those minyanim, but it doesn't mean that they're partying. It means that they're davening somewhere else, and maybe they're doing slichos at night, and then they're sleeping till the morning, or they're at the concert, or they're dancing, or they're sitting talking to a friend, or they're buying a present for their wife, whatever it is. Shiner's minyan starts at 10. Okay, starts at 10 o'clock. Great. Some people will need that type of minyan. Also, I daven there the second day of Rosh Hashanah usually. Every year for the last 4 or 5 years, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 4:30 even, maybe even 5 sometimes. Okay, and that minyan is just amazing. Also, just unbelievable. Just the different types of people who are at this minyan, and everyone together and singing together, and you feel like it's just like this one long experience, and it's just amazing. And again, then right after that, you're going to eat, and you're going to daven. There's no time to party. You understand? If you're saying from people who are Shomer Shabbos, Kashrus, Taras Mishpacha, everything. I'm saying you're saying like all of a sudden they just walk into man, they just become these animals, and nothing could be further from the truth. You're talking about people who are going there to daven and learn and everything, and there's so many types of people that I can't stress that point enough. That you just meet people. People will just come over to you and just say hello and just talk, and you'll sit down next to a guy at one of these open meals, and you'll just start talking to him, and he'll tell you about his dating life and what his struggles are, and this guy struggles with his family, and everyone's just giving each other chizik constantly, and it's just a beautiful thing, and that's what Rabbi Nachman wanted to happen. To address a few other points on the matter, let's say, first of all, people say, okay, so you're leaving your wife. So I would say 99% of the men who go have permission from their wives to go. And if you speak to other women who husbands go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah, you will see that they say that after the husbands come back from Rosh Hashanah, they come back with this new boost of energy, that they want to do good and everything in their marriage, and in praying and learning and davening, whatever it is, they have this new energy of coming back and making their lives better. I don't know anybody who ever came back from Uman who wanted to do worse. They only wanted to do better. So that's number one. Number two is, okay, how do you leave your family? So I've been thinking about this question a lot because I leave my family, every year. So first of all, everybody obviously prepares and sets their, their families up with what they need before, with food and Rosh Hashana and meals and whatever. And a lot of women get together, depending on where you are. Women will get together, different friends. One wife will go to a different wife whose friend, your friend will go to Uman, so the wives will get together, whatever it is. But people say, how do you leave on Rosh Hashanah? So let me ask you a question, very simple question. Okay, we have no tainas on people who go away for business during the year. They go to China for a week, they go to Vegas for a show, they go to Florida for a show, they go this for a show, whatever it is. We have absolutely no tainas. I have no tainas in them. Everyone needs to travel. If they need to travel for business, go travel for business. But at those times, if you're a married man, you're leaving your wife for a week in the middle of the year with kids, and all the responsibility is falling on her. Okay, so maybe they have help, maybe this, but I'm saying all the responsibility during the year on a regular week where there's school and there's this and cooking and everything like that, you're leaving it on them. But nobody has tainas, and nobody's obviously chas v'shalom saying that you're going to do averas. You're just going to do business, or going to serve Hashem. You're going to do business. Same thing. No, nobody should have any issues with that. But people have no tainas that when somebody leaves during the year, there's even more work for the wife to do. It's even actually harder than on Rosh Hashanah when people will get together. There's no work. There's no school. There's nothing. So that's something just to think about, is that a guy who works in whatever, importing or whatever it is, and he goes to China to find a new product for his Amazon store or whatever it is, chas v'shalom, nobody's saying to this guy like, oh look, Yankel's going to China again to do some drugs. Nobody's saying that. So why are you saying that about me? Why are you saying that about my friends? Why are you saying that about thousands of chassidim that are going there to do the right thing? That's all. It's just like what's the end goal? All of a sudden they come back, so now they're kosher yidden again. You can count them in. It's either you say that what they're doing and you hold that the whole year, or you just say that for 3 days. These guys are going to do averas. It's just like ridiculous. And people make jokes like, yeah, we know we're not, we don't really mean it. But then don't say it. You don't say that. It's not a joke that should be said. It's just bad energies, bad dinim on Jews. Also, the thing of leaving Eretz Yisrael. So people say, how could you leave Eretz Yisrael? Leaving Eretz Yisrael the holiest day of the year. Where are you saying that from? You're saying that from New York, or whatever. Even people in Eretz Yisrael, fine. So people in Eretz Yisrael who have tainas about that. I live in Eretz Yisrael, but and it's very. I love living in Eretz Yisrael. Sometimes it's hard, I have no tainas on people who don't want to move yet, who don't want to come here. Fine, whatever. That's your choice. It's not my business. My business is my life. But if you're going to tell me, if somebody from America is going to put out on the internet like people shouldn't leave Eretz Yisrael, I'm saying, what are you doing? You live in America, and you have no plans on moving to Eretz Yisrael. So why are you having tainas on people in Eretz Yisrael? They're doing their life. They're being moiser nefesh to live here in Eretz Yisrael. They can do whatever they want. First of all, many places can permit leaving Eretz Yisrael to pray at Kivrei Tzadikim, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We go to the Baal Shem Tov, we're going to Rabbi Nachman there. But again, there's and also the Ziknei Breslover who did come to Eretz Yisrael after moving from Uman. They also, after Rabbi Nachman died, or even then, they would still return to Uman for Rosh Hashana. So there's definitely, you have what to be saimich on for leaving Eretz Yisrael. And chutz mizeh, I don't really have anything to add. I mean, listen, I hope this year everybody will follow the rules and there won't be any outbreak, and everyone will wear masks and social distance properly and follow the rules of quarantine there and quarantine back in Eretz Yisrael. And this year it seems like it's better to go from America because you don't have to quarantine there. But it's just, Uman is just this incredible experience of all types of Jews. Jews who have found the answers and Jews who have not found the answers, and they're all coming there to search and to connect and to pray and to daven and to be by the tzaddik. And if you've never been there, then it's just not possible really to explain what exactly is happening there. And you just have to take my word for it and other people's words for it. When they tell you what's going on over there, they're telling you the truth. I know people, listen, and just to finish off and to add on again, is like I know people who personally who don't have the strongest connections to Yiddishkeit during the year, who will be there every Rosh Hashanah. You'll see them there every Rosh Hashanah, no matter what. Hardcore. They're there a few days before Rosh Hashanah already, even getting ready, because there's just this, and they're sitting with chassidim there and they're davening and and they're into it. They're doing tshuva. Okay, whatever happens the rest of the year, I'm not I can't comment on other things, but I'm saying you have people who will come during the year to connect. Even Rabbi Nachman said that don't think that just because you were able to serve Hashem for a week and then you fell again and you went back to your old ways, whatever, like that week isn't precious. Like it doesn't mean anything. It's the most precious in Hashem's eyes. And another thing that Rabbi Nachman said about the kibbutz and Roshana, which is also like I keep on bringing on this point about everybody, different types of people, high levels, low levels of people, whatever it is. I'm saying, Rabbi Nachman said on his last Rosh Hashana, he asked his chassidim before Rosh Hashanah, he said, "Where's Beryl?" The chassidim were a little shocked. Like Beryl was like a low-level chassid in the Breslover world back then. He wasn't the high guy, because he also asked where. At the same time, he also asked where Rav Aaron of Breslov was. Rav Aaron of Breslov was the Rav of the city of Breslov when Rabbi Nachman lived there, and when Rabbi Nachman moved away and he became a Breslover chassid, and also he would be by Rabbi Nachman on Rosh Hashanah in Breslov before Rabbi Nachman moved to Uman, which is only the last Rosh Hashanah of his life. He would be by him on every single Rosh Hashanah, but on his last Rosh Hashanah he didn't go because he needed to stay in the town for the people of Breslov. So Rabbi Nachman asked his chassidim, he said, "Where is Aaron and where is Beryl?" Meaning that Rav Aaron of Breslover, who was one of his closest talmidim, was just as special to him as Beryl, who was on a lower level. Because when you're in Uman, there's no higher or lower. Everybody's equal because you're only there for the kibbutz of Rabbi Nachman. So I think before people talk about Uman again this year, if you want to make a comment about it, you should really step back and think about, are your words going to make any difference, or are you just going to give more fuel to people who already hate Judaism and other people who are going to use it as fuel to make up, rumors about Jews that were going there to do these all bad things, when the reality is completely the opposite of the situation. Nothing there is happening like that. People are going there to serve Hashem, to be pure, to be holy, not to leave their wives, to just they're going there to improve their lives and to improve their shalom bayis and to improve their dibur, improve their prayer, to improve everything about them. And I hope that I didn't leave anything out. I hope that I was clear enough in what I wanted to say, and could share this video. If you want to message me, I'll leave a description in the bottom. And you shouldn't be afraid. If you go to Uman, you shouldn't be afraid to tell people what happens there. You shouldn't be afraid to stand up and say to people who make jokes about it or anything like that. Like, this is a real thing. You know what I mean? This is a real Jewish experience that is impossible to get anywhere else, and that's why Rabbi Nachman started it. I think one of the reasons why he decided to make Uman Rosh Hashanah, to make the gathering by him Rosh Hashanah dafka, and he was very adamant about it, even without giving reasons back then. But I think this is one of the reasons why, because he was able to see that in the future this is what a lot of Jews in Klal Yisrael would need. We're past the level where there's people who need help, like your typical rabbanim or whatever it is. We're like past the level where there's certain people who can be helped by certain rabbanim and certain people who can't, and those people can be helped in certain places. They may have to travel somewhere and have to do something, and one of those places is in Uman, and people feel at home there, and there's something that happens there. And just come, shouldn't have said just come. Come if you're a Breslover, come if you want to go. If you're not a Breslover, there's no reason for you to be there unless you want to come, but you could come too, because nothing bad is happening there, And I hope that everybody will make it this year, and that the kibbutz will happen, and Eretz Yisrael, and we'll all be able to come back, and there won't be any outbreak there. and everyone should stay safe and have a good Elul Chaim.